The Mike Tyson of real estate just recently took a huge hit and got knocked down. I don't necessarily think they got knocked out, but the greatest of all time, the behemoth of the real estate market, Zillow, shut down their Zillow offers business. It was massive news. Their stock took a massive hit, and the market kind of got shook and rattled as to why they were doing that. Well, I can tell you that it's an extremely unique market that they were in. And it's something that people have shown interest. For me personally, I have proof in the pudding that there is a demand of sellers that want to sell their home off market. So you have companies like OfferPad, Opendoor, Zillow Offers, Redfin Now, Keller Offers, all of these different big, huge companies making inroads trying to get sellers to take an easy road, an easy path to sell their houses. Now, let's just take into consideration what it typically looks like historically going through a traditional route. It could be a 6-month process. You reach out to a real estate agent, they come to your house, do a walkthrough, maybe give you a CMA, comparative market analysis, of what they believe your house could sell for. Generally speaking, for myself, I give them 3 different options for prices. I give them kind of a needle in the haystack. Hey, in the perfect world, if you have a perfect buyer that comes through, they might be willing to offer this. A market approach, and then something a little bit below market to kind of get that excitement, that multiple offer situation. Now, over the last couple of years, you've pretty much been able to list at market, maybe even a little bit above, and still get those multiple offers. But to prepare your house to sell, you would need to then get it cleaned, stage possibly, have somebody come in, take pictures, videos, get it marketed, go through, fill out all of these disclosures, a seller's property disclosure, different things that you feel or that need to be taken care of and signed to go through a traditional real estate sale. From there, you go onto the market. Right now we're seeing anything sitting between 3 to 5 days before you have multiple offers. Going under contract and closing anywhere from 21 typically to 45 days later, depending on the complexity of the deal. Now, after those 21 to 45 days, that seller would then pay their real estate agent their commission, pay the buyer's agents their commission for bringing their buyer, and walk away with the net proceeds, hopefully very happy with what they have been given and received. Well, there have been opportunities. For myself, for example, I came into real estate on the investment side of things. So for me, I was looking at buying single family duplexes and fourplexes and having conversations directly with owners, discussing about how I could buy their house for cash quickly without asking them to make any repairs or any type of modifications to their house. The price that they are going to write on the contract is pretty much going to be the price that they pay. Now, you will have some closing costs out of that in the sense of if we negotiated title insurance, which generally we would pay as a buyer, or property taxes. In Fort Collins in Colorado, we pay property taxes in arrears. So if I sold my house today, I would be responsible for paying property taxes up into the day of closing, which today is in December. So I would owe basically 11 full months of property taxes, which would be reduced from my proceeds and actually credited towards the buyer so that they can pay them here come 2022. In all that process, the buyer is essentially saying, hey, I'm gonna buy this property quick as is with cash, no financing, here's my proof of funds. And the seller saying, all right, well, dang, honestly, whether I got burned in the past, I have somebody who's very COVID conscious, or I just want to get the money as fast as possible. This makes sense for me. I see that you're offering a little bit of a discount, and I am okay with that because of the ease of this deal. And I'm gonna get, instead of my money in 6 months, I'm gonna get my money in 15 days. So there is a demand for these type of sellers and buyers. And these mega corporations are making inroads to do this. And I don't necessarily think that they are going to go defunct by any reason. A lot of real estate agents are talking about, well, they're doing stuff that they don't know about in this market, and they can't control the costs of labor and materials and all these different things. These companies are extremely smart and have realized that there is a demand from these sellers to sell their homes this type of way. And in Fort Collins specifically, right now we have about 13 homes that are on the market active from Zillow, and 3 homes and 8 homes total owned by Opendoor, but 3 homes of Opendoor that are on the market currently. So between the two of them, 16 houses in Larimer County that are active on the market out of 191 active properties in Larimer County. So less than 1% are on the market owned by this iBuyer type of seller, and which was originally a buyer. Opendoor's stock price has gotten crushed. Zillow Offers has decided they no longer want to be in the iBuyer business. Looking at some of the statistics, even just the small amount from Opendoor suggests they're kind of following the same path that Zillow followed. Out of 20 homes that Zillow sold here in Larimer County, they averaged 4% less on a sales price than when they bought the house initially. Now, that's 4% less plus all of the holding costs, property taxes, insurance, utilities, everything along those lines, just holding the property while they're going to sell it. And then on top of that, sales commissions, again, property insurance, title insurance, taxes, closing costs, different things. So that 4% could easily balloon up to probably 10, 12%. So this company, Zillow, has gotten smashed. And Opendoor, from what I'm seeing, is following the same path. Now, I don't necessarily think that these iBuyers will be leaving the market of Fort Collins anytime soon. I think there will be people that take their place. There has historically always been iBuyers. They just haven't necessarily been on an online platform. You know, there are investors that are always buying properties off market, and there is a demand for that from sellers. So you as a buyer or a seller could expect for this to continue, but as a buyer, what could you expect? All right, maybe we're going to be buying more houses from Opendoor or Redfin Now or Keller Offers or OfferPad, and that process looks a little bit different than your historical negotiations with a seller. So take into consideration, you probably aren't dealing with an emotional seller. It's peer economics and financial. What does it make sense? Does it plug into the algorithm and spit out a positive result? If it does, you can expect the seller, aka OfferPad's Opendoor, to move forward with those negotiations. If it doesn't, they're just going to tell you no, and there's not going to be too much negotiation or emotion involved behind it. As a seller, I do think you'll still have that opportunity to go to these online platforms to make a sale. Now, if you were fortunate enough to use a Zillow Offers and get this crazy market, above market price, good for you. I do think that those will change. I think that they will be a little bit more a discerning eye for those properties that they are considering buying and being a little bit more or harder on their negotiations. So as a buyer, expect to probably buy more in the future. More than 1% of the market, my guess, will be owned by iBuyers. And as a seller, you probably will still continue to have these different opportunities to sell to an iBuyer. It just might be at a little bit steeper of a discount and not a premium that you were getting. In Fort Collins, I suspect we're just this growing community with a lot of desire to live here. And Opendoor is just making their inroads. Zillow was just starting to ramp up. So I suspect to see the Redfin Now, Keller Offers, and different iBuyers making their way here in Fort Collins. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. My name is Patrick Soukup with Soukup Real Estate Services. And if you're new to the channel, we talk about everything Northern Colorado: eating, sleeping, playing, working, you name it. Now, if you've enjoyed it, hopefully give it a thumbs up, comment, maybe even share it with a friend. And we are licensed real estate agents here in the state of Colorado. So give us a call, text, email if you're considering buying, selling, or investing. And future videos, we're going to be talking to you about different affordability factors. In our next video, we will talk about insurance and property taxes specifically, and specific Fort Collins market, living here, moving here, what you can do, what can you expect, and also, of course, real estate. So until next time, guys, take care.